Yeah. First of all, I'm awfully grateful for everybody that showed up tonight. I'm sorry that we didn't play better. It didn't have a better ending, but our crowd was fantastic. Certainly appreciate it. Congratulations to Georgia Tech, Coach Johnson, the job he did today. You think back on the game, we turned the ball over, obviously, right from the start, and really never got anything going. I thought our kids played admirably in their willingness to battle through adversity and be tough. In the end, we didn't play well enough. We didn't deserve to win the ball game. They did. Credit to them. And we've got to pick it up and be ready to go next week. We still have plenty of great opportunities in front of us. And I know that our team will respond in the right way.
Coach, right before or right at halftime, you had guys huddle up on the field. It looked like you were giving them a general terms of pep talk, maybe. What would you share in terms of either why you did that or what your message?
I do that after every single game, or after the first half of every game. It's nothing different. We've done it ever since I was at Memphis and ever since I've been here.
And as far as the message of what you wanted to tell them there?
Well, we got ourselves into this hole, and we're the only ones that can get ourselves out.
Justin, I know you don't believe in momentum from game to game, but now this offensive performance did, 200 yards in the fourth quarter or something. How do you address your offense? It looked like it's kind of out of rhythm. I don't know if that's the right word, but do you put those two games together?
Well, it wasn't what we'd like it to be, that's for certain. I don't. You can always. It's always easy for a coach to say we never got in flow or in rhythm and all that kind of stuff, which is true. But there are reasons for that. Our execution level just hasn't been, or it certainly wasn't today, what it needed to be. When we did get things going, we couldn't. We either turned the ball over or couldn't convert on a third down to keep the drive going, which is disappointing. We just, in general terms, we just weren't very good.
Mike, you talked all week about the 1-0 and the focus, and you've praised the focus in this group before. Did you feel like they lost any focus this week?
No, I really didn't. I thought we were ready to play, and guys had a good week of practice, and at times we looked good out there, but we just, I don't sense anything but professionalism and hunger from these guys to do the right thing. And
Just break down your decision on the opening kickoff, winning the toss, what was going on?
well, my first thought was if we could, because we didn't have Terrell for the first half, if there was any way that maybe for one less possession we could not have Terrell. That was, the genesis of it. Playing an option team and the ball control deal was part of it, but the fact that there was no real wind and the fact that Terrell was out the first half, my plan was to have us take the ball and then Terrell be back the second half if that saved us one possession without Terrell. Obviously, it didn't go well.
First interception, it appeared that Jerod just threw it into double coverage. Was the second one kind of a miscommunication between him and CJ? It looked.
No, it really wasn't. CJ was in the right spot. Couple decisions I'm sure Jerod would like to have back.
Coach, always tough to lose, but is there any solace in the fact that you're still in good shape to win this division and get to the championship?
Well, that's part of what I told the kids after the game is, first of all, we didn't deserve to win the ball game today. Georgia Tech did, and they deserve a tremendous amount of credit. We didn't deserve to win our division today, but because of the way they have played and the way they have conducted themselves and the way, the games that they've won and the way they've played on the road, that dream's not dead. So, we have a pretty clear choice. We can respond and go get after it and pick ourselves up and be ready to go. We've obviously got a non-conference game next week and then Virginia coming in here. So it was part of the message today.
Coach, you've been beating the drum on ball security all season. Does that make it more disappointing that the turnovers were such a factor in this game tonight?
Well, when you go back and look, and all coaches say these things, but they're true. The single biggest determining factor in winning and losing ball games is turnover margin. There's no other statistic other than the score that predicts the outcome of the game. And for us to have 4 turnovers, it's hard. When you look at our games that we've turned the ball over in, we haven't fared well. And this is certainly no exception. We understand that in order to give ourselves a chance, we don't have a large margin of error. The teams that are just flat out better than everybody else can maybe get away with some of those things, but we don't have a large margin. We've got to take care of the football.
Justin, a lot of coaches would have taken their starting quarterback out for this fourth quarter. Maybe was that Jerod from the team saying, "I want to stay in"? Was it not a question in your mind? Or what do you think of this fourth quarter?
Oh, I didn't think it was a question. I felt like no. To answer your question, it wasn't Jerod. I just felt like we were at times we're moving the ball so efficiently. I still felt like we had opportunities to go win the game. There at the end, it kind of got away, but it wasn't a discussion. Yeah, we did a good job. But they lined up in base defense for 2 straight drives, and we should be able to move the ball doing those things.
Final question, Dave.
After the hold on Mook, on the 3rd and 11, a couple plays later, quarterback goes the distance like 53 yards. Was Terrell's absence a factor on that play?
I don't think so. I thought there were 2, if I'm not mistaken, there were 2 third downs that we got, one a holding and one a pass interference call that I thought were big. We were in great position. And when I say big, I don't mean bad calls. We were in good position. It's a chance to get off the field, and we didn't do that. But, there are a lot of things that happened in that game, in the kicking game, offensively and defensively, that, if you plan on winning the ball game, you can't do.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Okay, raise your hands, we'll get your microphones for Jerod. Start with Ricky over there.
Just what happened on those 2 interceptions right there, the one over the middle and then the one to CJ?
Bad plays.
When you think about the way this game started, I know you guys have talked about the energy and the juice at Syracuse. Was there a problem with energy and juice today, or something different?
Not at all.
What led to the 20-0 goal in the rough first half?
Bad play.
Jerod, we saw you kind of jumping around and really energized starting like the second quarter or something. It was a little bit more than we usually see from you emotional-wise. Did you feel that this week you were just a little bit extra into it, or was really feeling kind of the, not pressure of this game, but what it could mean?
No, it's not pressure at all. I don't feel pressure. It was more just knew it was at stake. And since I knew it was at stake, it just, I don't know, that's what I did. I didn't know, I didn't catch myself jumping up and down, but I guess it was just what it was.
Anything else for Jerod? Go back here to Ava.
You guys had the quick touchdown to Isaiah in the 3rd quarter. What's the mindset there? You get it to 20-7 real quick.
The mindset is we get touchdown, like we said in the locker room, do that real quick. Our defense played good. Defense like they've been doing pretty much, in my opinion, all day. Then we get the ball back and go score again. We have a high-power offense. We didn't show it, obviously, throughout the whole game, but we believe that we could score quick. And if we score quick like we did coming out the gate, then we could do that, make it 14-20, make them get a little jumpy, make them get a little nervous, get them at their game plan and what they normally do with a triple option. But we didn't execute that right.
Back to the room, Jason.
Jerod, Coach Fuente was asked the same thing, but does it help, at all knowing that you guys can still win the division if you take care
Say
of
that
it?
again?
Does it help at all? Coach Fuente was asked the same thing, but does it help at all knowing that you guys can still win the division?
I'm not looking that far ahead. We lost the game. That's what I'm worried about right now.
Mike, how would you evaluate the focus for you guys this week? You talked about 1-0, and obviously we talked about the division title being on the line. How do you think the focus was for your group?
I think the focus was there completely. The guys knew it was at stake. The leadership, the seniors knew it was at stake. The younger guys knew it was at stake. I just think we emphasized the point too much that that became overwhelming. I feel like we overemphasized on offense that we're going to get few possessions, that it became overwhelming, and so therefore when we didn't execute on third down, we would press a little bit more than we normally would. I'm not just talking about players. I'm talking the whole team, staff, everything. So I think that was more the problem than anything, more than the juice. I mean, the juice was there, the focus was there. I just think knowing that we was going to only get a few possessions, that kind of played a part of overemphasizing it too much. Got a little messed up.
You have a weird timing now for this Notre Dame game because it's a non-conference game. How do you approach that? How important is next Saturday?
I mean, it's more important just for the simple fact to get the bad taste out of our mouth right now. Losing never feels good. I've said it before. I hate losing with a passion. So that's the biggest thing that jumped out to me, non-conference or conference, just getting the loss out of our mouths.
Final question,
Coach Fuente said on offense, he was seeing kind of this game and a little bit in the Duke game as well, that execution just hasn't been there. In your mind, how do you go about solving something as big as an execution problem in practice? Is it just more reps? What do you do at this point?
I say get everybody more involved. To answer that question, get everybody involved, not just a couple of people. And I think once that happens, you'll see more execution.
We'll start with Mike. What did you see on the two long ones that broke? Was it execution? Were guys in the right spot?
I'll say this on the second, the latter one, they ran a trap, and I'll say this, I'm going to give, Paul Johnson did a great job tonight. He kind of was a step ahead of me, on a couple things. We were always trying to get our front moving. He did a nice job of countering that. The first touchdown that popped, they were doing a nice job loading things up, and they got up to our Mike, who was our pitch player on that particular play. And then the last play was a trap, that just popped right up the middle. And we were having our Mike and was trying to run because he was reading the trap and the pull, and they cut off our backside linebacker is what ended up happening on that. So, which, that's what we've been able to avoid. Majority of the time the last few years we've played these guys is the big play, and they got two big plays, against us, and that was costly.
I know you'll obviously review the tape, but it seemed like when Barron had a strong game inside, it didn't seem that way to you?
Yeah, I mean, you take away, stats are stats, but you take away a couple plays. I mean, you kind of, we had a lot of, as I was charting the game going through, we had a lot of first down and second and, 7 or more plays. And, You know, it was just a couple plays here or there. It was a couple penalties that were costly and that kept the drive alive. And there was just a couple. We weren't as sharp all the way around in all phases, and that's disappointing. Whether we were pressing, thought we had a great week. I've heard some of the questions. I thought we had an outstanding week of practice. I thought our scout kids did a great job with this offense. It's still hard to simulate, but they did a couple nice things, a couple wrinkles that they had. Made us work for, and they just did a nice job executing.
But I'm sure perhaps with his injury status, you might have thought that there's a chance Thomas might not have played. With Jordan in there, did they do any more or less of what you expected?
No, they kept with what they were doing. What they did last week and what they rushed for about 350 against Georgia or against North Carolina last week and put up a bunch of points and turned the ball over a couple times. But they were loading up the D gap, what we call the D gap area, the alley, and early. And I thought we did a nice job adjusting to that. And then they caught us with a trap there in the second half. We had the short field that was a tough position for us just before half. We needed to hold them to 3 points and we didn't. It is what it is. We lost. He moved his chess players around better than I did today, and it's credit to Paul and Georgia Tech.
Jason.
Hey, Coach, just to kind of go with that, I know they did a lot mid-level. How much did that
mid-level
just up the middle and?
Yeah, I mean they did, and they did and they didn't. I mean those things are going to pester you. The trap popped, and that's a tough play with that popped. One big play, but it pesters you. But it didn't cost us. Those just the milk and the fullback. They're going to do that and get that. We needed to not allow the big plays, and we gave up 2 big plays, and that cost us the football game when it was all said and done.
But how did you feel like you guys played without Terrell in the first half, and was his absence a factor at all when Jordan popped the long one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll look at it, but I mean, obviously Terrell's a dynamic football player and is a leader for us, and in a lot of ways, just not just play, but he's a guy that's really come into his own. I don't know if was a factor or not when it was all said and done. But looking at it, I'm sure Mook probably played extremely well. He had an untimely penalty, which was costful because they ended up going down and getting 7 points out of that when we had a chance to get off the field. And I'll have to go back and look at the film and see exactly how he played.
Ken, as a player, did you get the feeling that fumble in the opening kickoff kind of set a negative tone for the rest of the game, or did you guys feel like you could rebound from that?
I mean, we as a team, as an individual, I thought as a team we could bounce back from that, but it's kind of hard, It was just to start off the game, setting the tone and, momentum, got on their side pretty quick. So, that was pretty big for them.
Raise your hands to the microphones for Ken. Questions? Go back of the room to Jason.
Can you face this offense a few times now? Last few years. Did anything catch you guys off guard, or was it something different than what you'd seen before?
Other than the new quarterback coming in and mainly them just running to their right the whole time. That was the main differences. But they came out pretty hot. They had a lot of plays where they just had a man for a man, and caught us off guard a little bit. But and they capitalized on our mistakes. So. Hats off to them. They had a good game plan coming in. Had a lot of guys step up. They had a lot of injuries going into the game, so they had a really good game.
Speaking of the quarterback, how jarring is it to have a backup going there and only attempt 7 passes? I think. Obviously, you guys know Georgia Tech likes to run, but is that even weird just how little he threw?
It's we kind of expected just for the QB to run. Georgia Tech's just basically putting a running back at QB, but he came in, had a really good game. You know, kind of shut him down a little bit in the passing game, but you know, he hit us for quite a few big runs. And so, but he stepped in, had a really good game. You know, making one of his first starts. But I mean, yeah, I mean it's kind of what they expect. You know, they don't really pass. They're not known for passing the ball. But I mean, you pass the ball like 7 to 10 times a game, so it's what it is expected.
Ken, I know you guys pride yourselves on the quick change scenarios and responding to those. But you guys went 3 games in a row without the offense committing any turnovers. Tonight, 4 times you get the ball, you know, that you're back on the field probably a little earlier than you thought you would because of turnovers. Could you describe maybe what it's like as a player, the difference between a turnover-free game and a 4-turnover game, and what that's like for a defense?
Well, I mean, I think it's just, I mean, it's tough, obviously, being played in those situations. Definitely on a short field, you know, like earlier in the game when we got the, you know, the kickoff return and fumble, you know, just putting us in bad field position and stuff like that. I mean, but I mean, we do pride ourselves in trying to, you know, stopping those short momentum changers and stuff like that. But I mean, it is tough, you know, just going back on the field, especially with Georgia Tech. They had the ball majority of the time, and you know, time of possession and stuff like that. So, you know, it's kind of tough. We try and get off the field as fast as possible, and then turn around and our offense turn it over. It's kind of tough, but we got to do a good job and you know, holding them to a minimum.
Ken, what's the mood of this team afterwards with obviously a disappointing result, but the division still being there for the taking? I
mean, very optimistic. You know, we still, I mean, our you know, our destiny is still in our hands, and you know, we can control it. You know, by you know, winning out, obviously. I mean, Notre Dame, and then you know, clinching it with a UVA win. So, you know, we can't get too low. We can't be beating ourselves in the back. We got to get ready, turn around, and get ready for Notre Dame tomorrow.
Final question for Ken to David.
You mentioned being able to clinch against UVA. You didn't realize that you could clinch tonight until the Thursday result out of Duke, Carolina. Did the team's mindset change at all after that game when you realized, wow, we can wrap this up on Saturday? Do you think that had an effect?
I don't think it really had an effect. I mean, towards me. I mean, might have to other people, but I mean, we still have one game. You know, if we don't take care of business like we did tonight, it doesn't really matter. You know, we got to go clinch it on UVA and stuff like that. So, you know, it might have played a factor. Didn't with me, but I mean, we got to have a better mindset going into this game and just taking care of business and not looking too far down the road.
Thank you, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Questions for Woody? Back to the room, please.
Woody, knowing that you could clinch the Coastal with a win today, in a way, did that add some pressure that you really didn't need to have coming into this game today?
I wouldn't say it added any pressure. Regardless of what happened in that game on Thursday, you know, we wanted this one just as much as we wanted any other game on the schedule.
Did you get a sense that the fumble on the opening kickoff really kind of set a negative tone that you guys just couldn't shake for the entire game?
I wouldn't say negative for the entire game. Definitely bummed out when it happened because I thought we had a good return. But, you know, it's one play. It's a 60-minute ball game. I thought we could overcome that easily.
Other questions for Woody? Raise your hand when you want to.
We asked Ken this too, but I mean the cumulative effect of the 4 turnovers. I know you say one play you can overcome, but as they mounted 4 turnovers, how difficult was that to deal with?
I mean, I told the guys on the sideline, you know, regardless of where the ball was at, when we started on defense, we still got to make a stop. So every time we went back on the field, we're just like, we got to make a stop, and you know, obviously that didn't happen. So a little bummed out about that as well.
Anything else from Woody? Thank you very much.
of our team, so we'll try to have him available on that. That's going to be it for tonight. Try to get